Hello everyone, this is Dr. Gagan Kumar. I'm working as an associate professor at CSC department, MLR Institute of Technology. As a part of basics of entrepreneurship, we reach to a new topic that is called Introduction to Design Thinking process, and we will see some of the examples. Yeah. So today we are going to cover the following topics under the Introduction to Design Thinking. So we will see first what is design thinking. We'll give a basic definition of the design thinking and also the key characteristics of the design thinking under that. And the second one is the 5-stage design thinking process. There are 5 stages in which the design thinking process goes, right? First one is the empathize, understanding the user. It is very important, right, for understanding your customers who are going to your potential customers. Maybe you need to understand their behavior, their what they wanted to achieve, what they wanted to do, right? You need to understand the psychology of your users basically. And also the second point is define, framing the problem statement. It is very important. Once you understand their problems, their challenges, their pain areas, you need to frame their pain areas, their problems in a clear cut statement, right? So once it is said that once you are able to pinpointedly identify and able to comprise the problem statement in 2-3 lines, half of the problem has been solved. That means you are able to understand the problem to the core and you can provide the solution for that as well. And third one is the ideate. This is where you come up with the solution, the possible solutions for the problem identified. So one of the best way to identify the problems is through brainstorming. So this is the third stage in the design thinking process. Fourth one is the prototype, creating a testable model. So it encourages you to come up with a basic model of your solution, how it looks like, right? So it helps you to visualize the bigger picture. It helps you to run this prototype with the selected users and take their feedback, right? And see what level of satisfaction that they have and get the feedback right from them. And the fifth point talks about that, getting the user feedback. So what are the prototype that you have created, run that prototype with the users and get the feedback from them. So this is the fifth stage. So these are the 5 stages in a design thinking process. We will see in detail, and we'll come up with some examples so in order to understand this process in a better way. And we will see few real world examples of design thinking, right? So one is the Airbnb, right? Other one is the Apple iPhone, right? So we will see these 2 examples at the end. Okay, now what is the design thinking? Design thinking is a human centered iterative approach to problem solving. So that focuses on understanding user needs and developing innovative solutions. It is widely used in business, product development and entrepreneurship to create customer focused solutions. So this is about the design thinking. Now it is talking about very first point, human centered. The solution should be human centered, right? What do you mean by human centered, right? If you see, it talks about the convenience, right? It is said that where the convenience is, there the money. So humans like that convenience. Now you are able to do the payments on your bed itself nowadays. That is the biggest convenience, right? So a lot of research, a lot of innovation that went in that made it possible, where we 1980s and 1990s, when people go to the banks and do the transactions, that is a human involved, time consuming for everybody. Now today we are able to do the payments sitting at your chair, right, sleeping on your bed, right. So that is the biggest convenience. So your solution should be human centered, convenient to the humans to use, right. And there are so many convenient solutions that are there in the market, that are there from centuries. For example, safety pin, that is the human centered solution. No other living thing could use that safety pin for their purposes. So it is still being used, right. So that is the human centered solutions for the problems, right. So still it is a prevalent solution across. In every household you find these safety pins. So your focus should be human centered, right. If it is not human centric solution, probably your customers may not entice to buy that particular solution from you. So your solution, your thinking process should be human centered, right. And also it should be iterative approach to problem solving. Now problem solution doesn't happen in a single instance. When you think about the problem and come up with the solution, it doesn't happen like that. And you need to devise a specific process in which you can come up with multiple solutions, and combination of these multiple solutions might lead to a better solution, right. And the solution, nature of the solution might improve as and when we are using that particular solution, right. So this is an iterative process, right, for the problem solving, that focuses understanding the user. This understanding again these users, right. So these two terms are also very important. Users, who are the users? Your potential customers, the future customers, the people who are ready to buy your solution, right, to pay money for whatever you are selling to them, right. So if you are able to understand your users, their needs, their problems, their pain areas, if you understand to the core, basically, right, you would be able to come up with a better solution that they can use it, right. So it is very important to understand your users, who are your users, right, and developing innovative solutions for them, right. So this is about the design thinking, and design thinking is not restricted to one area. It is the framework, actually can be used not only in the development of the product, but also strategizing your organization goals, aims, right, how to achieve your vision, right. So these are the things you can you can use design thinking process, right. So very powerful mechanism that has been devised for problem solving and coming up with the innovative solutions for the users that you are targeting. So the key characteristics of the design thinking. What are the key characteristics? First one is user centered. So it puts people needs and experiences first, their experiences first, right? Not your problems, the problems of the users that you are targeting, right? It is when better understood. If you are facing that issue, probably you can come up with an even better solution, right? Whatever the problems that your users are facing, if that is your problem also, probably you could come up with a better solution. We had seen some examples in the previous classes where this Tristan Walker, who is P&G CEO, he is having the problems with men's grooming kit, right? So he identified those available solutions for grooming. They are not sufficient for his folk. So he come up with a solution. That is the problem that he himself is facing, and he come up with a solution, and he ran that solution with the rest of his folks. So that was a big success later on, right? So you need to put people needs and experiences first, right? Experience what users are experiencing in their lives, what are the difficulties that they are facing. So if you face those difficulties, if you have your own experience, then you can come up with an even better solution to address those problems, right? Always keep your problem and solution is human centric, basically, right? User centered. And then it is iterative process, involves continuous testing and improvement, right? As I mentioned, the solution doesn't come in a single time just like that. It is subjected to go through certain process and subjected to change its look and feel, right? The solution would change. It could be a complete different flavor altogether at the end of the day. What you are thinking initial solution may not be there when you really implement the solution to the customers at the end of the day, right? So it could be a completely 180-degree transformation of the solution. So it is evolving, right? It evolves, it changes its look and feel, its nature, the solution, right? So you should adopt this. And the third one is collaborative, encourages teamwork and diverse perspective. Now you involve people, right? The more brains work towards the problem, the better solution that would come up. So you should involve people. It should be a teamwork rather an individual, driven solutions, right? It doesn't work like that. And if you involve your users as a part of devising the solution, probably even that would be a better idea, all right? So it is a collaborative thing, right? And then experimental, emphasizes prototyping and real world testing. It encourages to come up with a prototype, right? It is a with little functionalities. It gives the look and feel of how the solution is, so that users can correlate the solution, and you can really explain what kind of solution it is and what kind of transformation it could go in future. You can easily explain and get a feedback on the solution that you are suggesting, right? So it is an experimental. Now, in design thinking, there are 5 stages in which you come up with an innovative solution to the problem identified for the users that you are targeting. The first stage is that empathize. So this stage talks about understanding the user. So what you have to do, you have to observe, engage and listen to users deeply, understand their needs, pain points and emotions. In one single word, I would say each and everything about your users, about their psychic, how do they think, how do they work, what time they do certain activities, right? So each and everything of your users, right? So their preferences, their likes, their favorites, their dislikes, each and everything, not only the pain areas, even you can work towards their likings, dislikings, their favorites, their their visits, what they wanted to do, right? Where they go most probably, right? Places that they visit, where they hang out, where they spend their time, each and everything you should know. Each and every more you know, better it is for you. You come up with a better solution, right? So it is very important to understand the user, because that user going to be your potential customer who is going to ready to pay for your solution. And how you're going to do that, right? If user profile is thousands of people are there, you can't reach each and every individual yet. So you can select a few of them, and through interviews, surveys and field research, you may get the data, right? Insights into your user, their profiles, their actions, right? Their thought process, everything that you can get it through these actions, right? These are the actionable things. So interviews, surveys, and field research. You go into the market and personally talk to them, try to understand what their problem, what they are facing, right? So here, example I mentioned here, a healthcare startup interviews patients and doctors to understand, these are the users, patients and doctors, to understand the biggest frustrations with hospital waiting times. So this is the pain area, right? So the frustrations in the hospitals, how they are tackling now, right? They, doctors and patients, okay, how much time they have to wait for the consultation. That is the problem, existing problem, right? At times, even if you take the prayer, I'm not getting the word here. So if you take a prayer consultation time also, it is very difficult, right, to get your slot, right? So there could be changes at the end of the day. So this is the real problem with the hospital consultation with the doctor. So patients has to wait. At times, doctor may be having, high priority visits. All of a sudden, he gets a call from the operation theater that an emergency case came. So he has to rush to attend that emergency case. So patient has to wait indefinitely until the doctor comes. So these are the practical problems in the hospitals. How you are going to address these problems? So you need to, talk to the doctors, talk to the patients, and see what they are facing, what kind of problems that they are facing, what modifications that they can do so that those issues can be avoided, and what kind of solution that they prefer. Maybe you can ask what type of solution, what type of tool that they prefer to have so that those issues can be reduced, the impact of those issues can be minimized. Okay, so you can run these interview surveys and field researches to understand the real problem that is existing in the world, right? So the second stage is define. So clearly state the problem, right? So as I mentioned earlier, if you are able to mention your problem in 2-3 lines, crystal clear, involving the statement, involving your users as a center of the statement, then half of the problem has been solved, right? There's a great chance that you'll come up with a wonderful solution to that problem, right? So this problem statement is very important. So analyze insights from the empathize to identify the core problem to solve. Frame the problem statement in a way that keeps users at the center. So you need to keep the users at the center while coming up with a problem statement. All right. So whatever you do, even coming up, understanding the problem and all, you need to think about user as a center, right? So this is very important. So example, instead of saying we need a faster appointment booking system, instead of that, say patients struggle with long hospital waiting times, leading to frustration and missed appointments, right? So patients, users, right? So what is the pain area? Long hospital waiting times, leading to, right? This is what is, final results, frustration and missed appointments, right? So this is really a frustration for the users. And the third one is the ideate. In this, we are going to brainstorm. All right. You need to come up with a possible solution, innovative solutions, right? Again, when you do the brainstorming, you need to keep the user as a center. What happens in the brainstorming is that whatever the solution that is there in your mind, right, that we put it in a paper, that is a good thing, right? We should be doing it. But is that solution acceptable to the user or not? That's what we need to think at the end of the day. On the paper, the idea looks wonderful, pretty, right? But is it implementable? Is this what the user wanted to see? Is it going to entice the user so that he is ready to pay for the solution, that innovative idea that had come up through the brainstorming? So these are the things you should be identifying. All right, these are the things that you should be concentrating on. So before you come up with any solution, right? Okay, so use the technique like mind mapping, brainstorming, and the sketching. So there are certain techniques where you can come up with a solution for the problem identified in the previous stage, right? So one example is a team brainstorming solutions for reducing hospital waiting times might consider a mobile check-in system, right? One possible solution. AI-powered appointment scheduling, virtual doctor consultations, right? So these are some of the possible solutions that might come up through the brainstorming or any other technique, right, through which you can come up with the solutions. Okay, the fourth stage is prototyping. Create a quick and low cost models. It's quick and low cost model. No need to spend too much of money on that, right? We don't know how it is going to turn out, right? But this gives a look and feel as a starting point to explain to the users, right? Very minimal, very infant stage level product, right? You can create so that you would be able to explain the solution to the customers, and also you can explain the future enhancements that could lead to a better solution. So you can explain, and user can visualize the bigger picture of the solution that you are going to provide in future, right? So develop a simple rapid prototypes to test the core functionality of the idea. Focus on speed over perfection. How fast you can build a prototype, that's what you need to concentrate. Don't concentrate on how perfect that particular prototype is. Perfection that happens in a later time, right? So first concentrate on how fast you can build that prototype. Prototypes can be sketches, wireframes, or iterative mock-ups, right? It could be anything, right? So it should be low cost, with the less perfection, and quicker to build, right? So this is what we need to take care in prototype building. So example, a team builds a clickable prototype of a mobile check-in system for hospital visitors. Just one click, functionality, right, for appointment. So you can build that. You can run it with the users. The users may like it. Users may give feedback on that, how it is, feeling. You can give a honest feedback that would help you to, improvise on the proposed solution. And the fifth stage is test it, right? Create a quick low cost model. This basically we need to test this particular thing with the users, get the feedback basically, right? Test prototypes with the real users to see what works and what doesn't. Gather feedback, refine the solution, and iterate, right? So this is the once I just cut it, I am going to show this slide, modified slide. The fifth stage talks about the testing of the prototype. So in this, we are going to get the feedback from the users. So test prototypes with the real users to see what works and what doesn't. Right? You need to run your solution. You need to run your prototype with the potential customers, the users, right? And then see what they wanted to see, what is that which is working for them, what is that which is not working from them. Just check with them, gather the feedback, refine the solution, and iterate. This is important, right? Solution doesn't come up in a single stretch, single attempt. You need to keep on improvise on the solution, right? Change the solution so it better addresses the problem in a better way, right? So example is, patients test the hospital check-in app and feedback reveals they struggle with the login process. So the team simplifies it with one tap sign in, right? So you have provided the prototype for signing in to the check-in system, but they have complained that logging into your system is taking so much of time. Checking could be, is getting delayed, right? So because of some reasons, you can address those issues and rectify those issues to make it look better, make it work better, right? Okay, these are the 5 stages of design thinking. So it is the framework actually. It helps you to come up with the innovative solutions for the problem identified. It helps you to understand the user completely, right? The psychic of your user. It encourages you to get everything, every detail about your user. That way you can create a better solution that works for your users, right? So we will see few real world examples of real time examples of design thinking, right? Airbnb, we all know that Airbnb, it actually allows the visitors to use the residential properties, not the commercial ones, the residential localized properties for paying guests, right? They can host the guests and they can pay money in return to the house owner, right? So that happens through the Airbnb. Usually, if you want to stay any lodges, hotels, they charge you in a hefty prices. But if any house which is available, big houses, they are not using certain rooms, they can give those rooms for rent to the visitors of that area, and they can get money from the visitor and some commission also for the Airbnb. So this is a very good business model, but the initially when they started this venture, there is a trust issues, right? The security was biggest problem, because the visitors are staying at the private property which was unknown to them, and they don't know how the house owners would be, how do they deal, and also that there's a trust issues with the house owners as well, that they have trust issues with the visitors, what type of visitors they are, their background and all. So to build the trust, right, they come up with some solution, right? They hired professional photographers, okay, for listing the properties, right, in a the more better way, and showing that ambience to the potential customers, right, and building the trust through the reviews also, right? If encouraging the reviews on a specific property, right, that also builds a lot of trust to the new visitors that are coming up. And also the prior information of the visitor, if Airbnb could pull and give a rating to that particular customer, and the house owners can really see the rating of that particular customer, and they can safely rent out their property to the new visitor. Okay, so these are the modifications, slight modifications that they have done, and their business is flourishing now. So idea is very good, but joining two distinct, strange people, together, joining strange people together like that, and allowing to use their property for 3-4 days, it is really challenging thing. But with constant efforts towards bridging that gap between two strangers who are apart from the world, right? They are one person could be one part of the world, other person could be another part of the world, different cultures, different languages, joining them and allowing them to interact for few days, that is a big challenge, right? So they have taken utmost care to rectify those distances, and so the Airbnb is a successful business venture. It is doing wonderful. So what are the results that were happened? Booking increased, and the strategy helped Airbnb grow into $1 billion company, right? So slight changes, right? Slight changes makes help you to to make money, right? There are so many businesses like that. They have done a slight changes to their products, and you know mm, they made billions of dollars out of that, right? And the next one, real world example, the second example is Apple's iPhone. It is also user centric innovation. So earlier the phones used to come with the keypad, right? If you want to dial a number, you should press the physical keyboard, right? That is there at the bottom of the mobile. So that is, you know, that occupies a space, right? That reduces the screen space. Now, Apple thought about the touch screens, right? Removing the physical keyboards completely from the mobiles. Now, that idea now adopted by all the mobile companies, mobile manufacturers, right? And now you won't see any mobile device with a physical keyboard on it. Very few, very low model, very few customers for them. But 99.9% of the mobiles nowadays are coming with the touch screen. And Apple innovated that idea, and it made billions of dollars through that idea. Okay, so this happens through this design thinking, human centric, how humans see what are the difficulties that they are facing, right? If you understand your user's psychic, their problems, then you can come up with a better solution. Best example is Apple iPhone. No one could have thought about that. We can use the touch screens, giving bigger space, right? Bigger screen for users to fulfill their needs and desires. Okay. So yeah, with this I'll complete my session, and thank you so much for listening to me patiently, and we'll meet again in the next session with a new topic. Thank you all.